First, David was thankful for the Lord's answered prayers. Now, a few years ago, my wife and I had dinner with my niece down in Evansville, Indiana. She had graduated from Oakland City University, and she was dating a young man at the time. And as we're having dinner, he started going, she graduated, he didn't. And he started going on and on about Dave Barber, who was the newly elected president of Oakland City University, and how Dave Barber had lied to him about the course requirements. Now, listen, there's something I understand, okay? What a 17-year-old hears at 17 may not be what he remembers at 21 and expects to graduate. He needed to read the core curriculum, and if he read the core curriculum, he would have realized that he wasn't graduating at 21. But he wanted to blame this guy for that much, and I listened to him for a while, and then he started going on again about something else that Ray Barber had done, and I stopped him and I said, wait a minute. Ray Barber is a friend of mine, and I will not let anybody speak ill of a friend of mine. You know what? If you know me long enough and you start bad-mouthing a friend, you will hear those same words. Now, back in the 90s, the early part of this century, you ever think you'd ever say the early part of this century? It was all early part until yesterday. The early part of the century, I'd go down to Evansville, and Oakland City would put on a growth conference and different conferences that they would put on, and I'd go to that conference every year. And at least one point, I would have dinner with Ray and another man named Ora Johnson, and we would have dinner together, and I got to like these guys, and they, at one of these dinners, they asked me if I could spearhead a conference in Michigan. The Oakland City wanted to come in and do a conference in Michigan, and I said, okay. And so I must have done a good job because they asked me to do it the next year, but I had to decline because it was just a lot of work. And I had started a school, and I started a Bible Institute, and we had all these things going on in the church, and I just did not have time to dedicate, the 80 or 90 hours it takes to do a conference. And so I politely declined. But I got a good working relationship with these two men. We were there. So when my daughter Casey said, you know what, I want to go to Oakland City, I said, you know what, I had no problem with it. Laura, on the other hand, had a problem. What? You're gonna go all the way down to Oakland? You're just going to be across the river from Kentucky. You're going to be like 2 states away. Well, not really, but yeah. But I had no problem. You know why? Because if anything came up, I could just pick up the phone and call my two friends down there and know that the problem would be taken care of. I didn't have to worry about Casey being there because I could call my friends. Do you have a friend that you can call when times get rough? David did. Look at verse 4. I sought the Lord, and he heard me and delivered me from all my fears. You know what? Do you have a friend who's there when others want to badmouth you? David did. Do you have a friend who will help you get you out of a difficult situation? David did. Are you awake this morning? Do you have a friend who you can always depend on? David did. And you know what? So do you. Amen. But all you have to do is call on him. That's all. Because when you call upon the Lord, he delivers us from our most fearful situations. He hears us and he answers our prayer. Matthew chapter 7, verse 11. If ye then being evil know how to give good gifts unto your children, how much more shall your Father, which is in heaven, give good things to them that ask him? John chapter 14. And whatsoever ye ask, ye shall eat. Take 2. John chapter 14. Starting with verse 13. And whatsoever shall ask in my name, that will I do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son. If ye shall ask anything in my name, I will do it. Now, guys, here's the thing. I don't know if today, if Ray Barber could pick me out of a lineup. It wasn't a close relationship to say, per se. It was a working relationship for a short period of time. We never played golf together. Other than having those meals over a 7 or 8 year period of time, we basically didn't say, call each other up and say, hey, let's go have a taco and a cup of coffee. And I had to call Casey this week to get Ora Johnson's name because I had completely forgotten his name. But you know what? David had a friend. Well, Proverbs 18:24. A man that has a friend must show himself friendly. And there is a friend that sticketh closer than a brother. Do you have a friend that close? David did.